Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm coming to you from my hot garage again. I'm setting up for a video about AR-15 receivers and how they are milled out in the back, and I guess regarding the different companies and how far they want to go when it comes to gun control and making it difficult for people if they wanted to, if they're an SOT or a special occupational taxpayer that can legally make machine guns, how much milling they have to do. And all these are legal AR-15 lowers, but they're all milled out differently when they don't really have to be. But I was going to make a video about that for the main channel. But I wanted to come to you tonight with a little bit of NFA talk. I have two working theories on two totally separate things that I want to run by you guys and see what you think. Number one, when it comes to NFA wait times, I've had a few people on my pistol brace videos say, oh my gosh, I'm at the 1 month mark or the 2 month mark. I haven't heard anything. Everything's still up pending. And I know that people that have never gone through this process are all panicking now, and they're all worried that their paperwork isn't going to be processed. And I've had to tell most of them, well, 1 month is pretty short. So wait till you have to wait 9 months to a year to get this stuff. So welcome to the club. So I have a working theory because I recently, in fact, it was 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I got a notification that one of my tax stamps was approved for a silencer. But here's the kicker. I submitted, and my dealer submitted, 2 Form 4s at the same time. Now, they're for B&T suppressors for a VP9. And they were submitted probably 5 minutes apart. And they approved one, and the other one is still pending. Why? It doesn't make any sense. When I see on some of the NFA owner groups on Facebook, you get people that are getting what are called batch approvals, where they might have one that was submitted 9 months ago, one that was submitted 7 months ago, one that was submitted 5 months ago, and so forth. But because they're all through the same dealer, the examiner sees it and approves all of them at the same time. So maybe their lowest wait is 30 days, but their highest wait was 9 months, but they all get approved at the same time. I have 3 suppressors that I'm waiting for, actually 2 now that I'm waiting for stamps for, but 2 of them were submitted virtually at the same time, but one got approved and one is still pending. It makes absolutely no sense. Why wouldn't that examiner just have gone, oh my gosh, let me just approve both of them at the same time? Unless that's not how the system works. You know, we don't really know how they decide what forms they're going to look at when they're going to look at them. Because when you go online to the wait times on either Reddit or the Facebook groups, they're all over the place. Some people will just have one form out and it gets approved in 60 days. And other people are at 400 days. And it used to be pretty consistent where everybody was at pretty much a certain time, like, oh my gosh, the early ones from November of last year are coming in now. And it was a very even, consistent time. Now it's spotty. And my working theory is, and I can only guess because I can see how forms are being approved based off of what people are reporting. And some people getting batch approval, some people not. I think I know what they're doing. And if you're in the NFA world waiting for tax stamps, what's your working theory? But here's mine. I think that when a form goes into the system, it gets automatically assigned to an examiner. It gets put into a certain stack. And if you're lucky enough, when that examiner reaches your form, and they pull it up and they see you, your information, and the dealer's information, it probably shows them other forms that match that criteria. So if the same examiner was assigned your form for 7 months ago and 5 months ago, they go ahead and batch approve it because it's less work for them in the future. But if that form is sent to them and the form that was submitted 5 minutes later goes to a different examiner, or it's in their pile, the examiner that sees it doesn't see the other form and only approves one. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong, but it's crazy. It's crazy that I'm still waiting 4 days later for a form that was submitted 5 minutes later. I don't know. And then, as I said, some people that have one form out, They get it back in 2 months. Why was that form picked out of the system randomly, and then other people are literally waiting over 400 days? I mean, that's crazy. You're already into the second year. It doesn't make any sense. But that's my working theory, is it has to do with what they're assigned to in the system per examiner. Now, let's talk about more ATF pistol brace stuff and talk about actions having consequences. Because I don't know why I keep coming back to this topic. Well, maybe it's because people keep saying things in the comment section that make me think, or they get mad at me, or what have you. Because I had somebody say a really nasty comment on my last one where I talked about the pistol brace stuff, and if it had never been approved in the first place, would people have been mad? And I said the answer is no, and he called me all these terrible names. I just banned him and blah, blah, blah. Didn't even argue with him, just gone. But anyway, I want to talk about actions having consequences, because I have spoken extensively on my channel about how divided the gun community is, in that people do not care about other people's plight when it comes to Second Amendment infringements if it doesn't affect them. And I try, and I have said, we all have to be in this fight together. Although I am not a hunter, I have never hunted ever. I support the right of hunters, and I want to see all of their Second Amendment rights when it comes to the firearms that they want to own or shoot not be infringed. Same thing with skeet shooters. I'm not a skeet shooter, not a trap shooter. It's not what I do. It's not what I enjoy. I'm not a competition shooter. But I support all of their Second Amendment rights. But I have noticed that when it comes to me, many people that are in those other disciplines of the Second Amendment don't care. So, I'll give you a couple of examples. We've all heard about the FUDs, right? You know, we kind of throw around that pejorative, the FUD, you know, the Elmer FUD, the hunter, the skeet shooter, the trap shooter. They don't care about AR-15s. They don't care about black rifles. They don't care about suppressors. They don't care about any of that. So they look at us as uncivilized and, below them. We've all kind of encountered people like that. It can get a little stuffy around them because they're a little bit high themselves. But even I have met competition shooters. In fact, one of the, I would say, most disappointing, and I guess I'll use the word sad moments on my journey through all of this, was in one of my social circles that I run in. It turned out that I knew somebody, or I discovered somebody, is a very well-known competition shooter. Now, I don't follow competition shooting, so the names don't ring bells to me. But this person is hired by police agencies to go train. They are best friends with Jerry Mitchellek. I mean, they live here in this area, and they just kind of run in a social circle where it's not about guns. And I talked to them, and they said, "Oh yeah," because I mentioned, "Oh yeah, you're into guns, you're a competition shooter. That is so awesome. I'd like to hear some stories about it." And then I mentioned that I had a YouTube channel about firearms, and I said, "Yeah, I like to collect firearms and make videos." And this person said, "Oh yeah, I know who you are. Yeah, you're one of those people." And I was like, "What do you mean I'm one of those people?" "Yeah, you're just a collector." Well, yeah, I'm a collector. I like guns. I like to collect guns. I like to, clone rifles, that kind of things. But all they care about is competition pistols, like 2011s and so forth. But because I wasn't one of them, they looked down upon me. That kind of hurt a little bit. I'm not going to lie. It was, maybe they didn't mean it intentionally, because I don't think they meant it. It was just the way that it came across to me. And it hurt me a little bit. I was like, wow, I thought that we could come together on this, talk guns. Yeah, you're a competition shooter. I'd love to hear about all of your experiences and the kind of guns you shoot and the matches you shoot. And, if you're interested in ever shooting maybe a rare gun or something else that I have, let me know. We can still be friends in the Second Amendment, and I be a collector and a casual shooter, and you be a competition shooter and a trainer. I mean, we can still do guns, right? Well, I still see them from time to time, and I don't talk firearms with them, but every time I see them, it makes me a little sad because I realize that they look down upon me. So let's circle back to the ATF pistol brace stuff. And sometimes I think people reap what they sow. And let me explain. Now, this is not in any way of me gloating or happy that people are upset or feel like their rights have been infringed. But for a long time on my channel, on my old channel before it was taken away, you guys probably know this, and even on my old Texas Gun Vault poll questions of the week, which you can see on this channel, and back when I did my news segments, the This Week in Gun News, I always spoke about how we have to support each other. We have to come together. And if people are into an aspect of the Second Amendment you're not into, you still need to support them. And I implored people, I said, please, please, please support repealing the NFA. Be outspoken, even if, for whatever reason, whether your state doesn't allow NFA things like suppressors, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, or you have some political problem with it, because I've known people that live in, for example, here in Texas, that will not buy a suppressor because they're like, I don't want the ATF knowing what I have. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I support your right not to do that. But why don't you join the American Suppressor Association? Why don't you join an organization that's fighting the NFA in court? So maybe one day you could buy a suppressor and the ATF not know about it. Or you could have a barrel shorter than 16 inches without having to go through paperwork. But you know what? I always got the same response. I don't care about that stuff. I don't want the government knowing. I'm not into it. I just don't care about it. Okay, well, I am. You don't want to support me in what I do and other people in the segment. You just care about you and what you do. You know, I don't believe that I'm selfish. As I said, I support hunters, trap shooters, competition shooters, collectors. I support the tacticians, the guys that are like the big bearded trainers and go out there and I support them. Might not be my thing, but I support them and would defend them 100%. But when it comes to my collecting, my NFA stuff, if they're not into it, they're like, I don't care about it. I'm not going to help you. But then all of a sudden, this ATF pistol brace rule came around, went into effect. And I've noticed online, on the forums and so forth, that the people like myself that already have NFA items, already have suppressors, short-barreled shotguns, short-barreled, rifles, all this, destructive devices, all this kind of stuff, any other weapons, or people that might even have machine guns, and then had these pistol braces, were like, oh, well, I was going to register this thing anyway as a short-barreled rifle eventually. I might as well get my free tax stamp. I'm already in the NFA world. Big deal. Then those people that never cared about the NFA, never worked or said anything about trying to repeal it, now they're getting sucked into this world. I don't want to register. The ATF can't make law, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden they're sucked into it and they got to make a decision. And then they get mad at us because we might not be supporting them like they want us to. So they never supported us for years. They never supported us for years. Then all of a sudden, they're sucked into this and they're mad, whether there's somebody like myself that talks about, the rational approach to this, and we all knew it was a workaround in the beginning, or they're mad at other gun owners that take no stance whatsoever, that aren't in the public eye like myself, but they get mad at other gun owners just because they went ahead and registered their brace pistols. You're a traitor, and they call them all these names. So the actions have consequences. Now, I still support the people that want to repeal the brace rule. I think the brace rule is bad and unconstitutional. But I'm already in the NFA world, so it didn't affect me that much. But I still support and donate to organizations that are fighting that in court. So while I am not personally all that affected or upset about it. I am working hard and I make videos trying to direct people to direct their time, resources, and energies to getting those laws repealed or those rules overturned or what have you. So I'm walking the walk and talking the talk, right? But other people that have never walked the walk, that didn't care about the NFA, are now mad that people like myself are people that went ahead and registered their pistols. Now they're mad at them and going, you need to support us. How dare you? You're a traitor. Isn't that a little hypocritical? I'm just saying. We were begging you for your support for a long time. Begging you for your support. Now, it may not have done anything, but we were begging you to come into the team, join us. But because it didn't affect you for whatever reason, whether that be a personal choice because you're scared of the ATF, knowing what you have, or you live in a state where you can't own NFA items, or whatever reason in between, now you're mad. That's why I think there's so many people on these NFA forums that I've noticed just don't care. Like all the anger of these people fall on deaf ears because they're like, we've been angry for a long time. We've been warning you about this. We've been asking for your help for a long time while we still supported all of your other causes. And now you get sucked into this and you're mad at us? We're the ones that have been telling you the whole time. And now you're mad we're not supporting you. Actions have consequences. And while I don't think any one person is to blame, it's a groupthink thing. We are social creatures and we usually work as a group. So while not anybody watching this video is personally to blame, it is the group as a whole of people that are upset about the ATF pistol brace rule and people not supporting them, or people like myself that are going, hey, let's look at this rationally, let's break this down. Or they're mad at people that just registered their braces because they're like, well, I was going to save some money anyway on this. I was going to register it anyway with a $200 tax. Now I don't have to. They're mad. Why? You never supported us, so why are you mad that we're not supporting you? Now, I'm not saying we don't support you, because I said I do support you. I do support you. I donate money to pro-gun groups that are fighting the ATF pistol brace in court. I donate money to that. So I'm doing my part. But you've never done your part to help us repeal the NFA or to get stuff off the NFA before it got to this point. So I'm asking you to be self-reflective, because I know there's still people that watch these videos on this channel that don't like me and they get pissed off at me. But then ask yourself, did you do anything before this to actually try to help us in the NFA world before it got to this point and affected you? If the answer truly is no, well, you're part of the problem, okay? And I'm not mad at you. It's the way it goes. It's learning from your mistakes. That's all it is. So you don't want to help other gun owners, but then you're mad when other gun owners don't help you. And the lesson to be taken away from all of this is that we are all in this together, right? We're all in this together. This all can change today. We all can become a unified front and fight all of this together. And if we came together unified, we could win. But because we're such disparate factions, you got the hunters that don't care about the competition shooters, and the competition shooters that don't care about the collectors, we can't come together because you don't care about things that don't affect you. I care about the Second Amendment as a whole, and I've cared about it long before the ATF pistol brace stuff. And I'm going to care a lot about it after all of this and whatever the next thing is that they're going to go after, or whatever the next brouhaha is. So ask yourself, are you a winter soldier? Are you only there when the times affect you? You have to be there all the time. You have to be there all the time. You have to be fighting all the time, even when it doesn't affect you. But if you're not doing that, you're not doing your part. So that's my working theory on this, and why the gun world is losing, why I think we're going to lose our Second Amendment rights, and why some people are mad at people like me, and why I can tell you, based off of what I'm reading on the forums, why people like myself, or did do the amnesty stuff, are mad at the people that are mad at us, which only divides the community more. So there you go, 2 working theories. Some NFA talk tonight. So what do you guys think? Am I off base on any of this? I'm sure there's going to be some people that are going to tell me that I am. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.